We'll start you off with this morning. 5 years ago today, Rayshard Brooks was shot and killed by Atlanta police after a DUI stop escalated into a deadly struggle in the parking lot of a Wendy's on University Avenue. His death, caught on camera, sparked violent protests across the city. In 2022, the city of Atlanta agreed to a $1 million wrongful death lawsuit settlement with the Brooks family. Here now to talk more about the death of Rayshard Brooks is his widow, Tomika Miller. Good morning to you, Tomika.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show. Hey, we're so appreciative of you coming on the show to talk about this. We know that it's been at least 5 years. How is your family still coping and dealing with this death over the last 5 years?
Actually, it still feels like the first day I first heard it. Things have been still rocky, but we're getting through. As my daughters get older, it's really hard for them to continue processing. They'll never see their dad again.
Now, how old were your daughters when this took place?
Blessing was actually yesterday she turned 13. So 5 years from now, that's how old she was.
And I know, I understand. And how do you, for somebody out there who may be going through the same thing you go through, how do you deal with that? How do you talk to your kids about what took place?
I get a lot of therapy and counseling. It's hard to deal with every day. It's hard to even talk about sometimes. I try to keep my phone away from my oldest daughter and electronics away from her so that she doesn't replay those events or see the tragedy that happened to her father.
Yeah, I hate to try to take you back, but if we go back to that particular time, when this took place, all the emotion of the community getting involved, how did that make you feel?
It made me feel very supported, as if the community was there for me and we were going to get something going where policing would be changed and youth would be helped to not fear the police anymore, which I'm still looking out for, those members who are in the community protesting to come back together, and we get that Wendy's to be a peace center, instead of just a wooded area or another apartment complex.
Yeah. The two officers that were charged, but the charges were dropped against them. When that happened, did that affect your view of the justice system at all?
Of course it did. It really let me down. I was baffled. I didn't expect for the charges to be dropped or, him just walk away scot-free.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What message would you give to leaders and law officials today about the incident?
Let's not forget about this situation, and let's rise to the top and do what we promised the Brooks family, and that was to, get together, change the way policing would be, change the way the community would react to policing, and get that peace center built.
Yeah. Have you been drawn to any advocacy work in the community as of late? Are you doing anything in that regard?
Yeah, I actually work with the Astra Project and do a lot of different things. I go out to events where some of the family, we had a lot of different incidents go on with still a lot of police brutality, and I get together with those families with the Astra Project and different things, the organizations, and we just come together and support each other and still do things. I still do things. 2 years ago, I did a back to school drive and a Christmas drive. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm still out in the community working. Yeah.
Tell us about Rayshard. Tell us about how he lived, more so less about how he died, but how he lived.
He lived his life free, just always protective of his family, working hard, trying to stay away from, the law enforcement. He never wanted to go back to jail because he wanted to be here for me and his kids to prove that he could be a better man than what he was.
Yeah. What would he be saying today, given all that has happening, especially in that particular time of his death? What would he say today?
Well, Chesley, I can't tell you what he'd say today because he's not here.
Good point. Good point. The way things are today, what would you say? How are you feeling today, 5 years later after this?
That's a better question. I can tell you how I feel.
Absolutely.
5 years today, I would say that I would like to see people stick to their word and just really not forget about the fact of the promises that were made, not just to me, but to a lot of other families who still dealing with police brutality and unjust situations from law enforcement. in community, period. I want to see change. I want to see people stick. I don't want to see you walk away 2 years later and say, hey, we did our part. We stood up, but we're not still standing with them.
Absolutely. Very good point. Really appreciate you joining us, Tomika Miller. We are with you, so that you know that. Still praying for you and your family. 5 years later, certainly still feeling the impacts from that and raising your children. Best of wishes to you and your family.
Thanks so much, Chesley.
Thank you for joining us. All right.